Hi guys, and Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to the first journal of 2021. The markets were a bit mixed today, and the mixture was a bit of an unusual one. So most days when you have mixed markets, you'd normally have maybe one index down just a tiny bit, another index flat, or maybe another one slightly up. But what we had today was the Dow was up by about 438 points, or 1.4%. The Nasdaq was down by about 0.6%, but the Nasdaq was down by much more during the session. I think it was down by over 1.5%. And the Russell, the small cap index, was the outperformer on the day. The Russell was up by about 4%. And the market seems to be pricing in a hard time for the technology sector. And I think that is the reason behind that is I think the market's pricing in that if the Democrats control both the House and the Senate, then there might be some regulation down the line for the tech stocks. And you can see names like Apple down 3%, Facebook down about 2%, Amazon down 2.49%, Netflix down 3.9%. So the tech sector was down today. The financials, on the other hand, did pretty well. Citibank was up about 5%, Bank of America was up 6%, JP Morgan 4%, and Wells Fargo was up about 7%. The one thing I found surprising today is the ongoing chaos in Washington seems to be far away from Wall Street. So I think maybe what happens in Washington stays in Washington, but New York doesn't seem to be impacted by it. The markets kind of shrugged it off, but it'd be interesting to see how the markets digest the ongoing unrest, if it carries on or if it spills over into tomorrow and Friday. But today the markets seem to pretty much take no notice of it. Moving on to the VIX. The VIX was a bit low today. The VIX has been high all week. It's been, I think it was as high as 28 earlier in the week. On Monday I think it was about 28. It was down about 1% today to close at 25.07, which is still pretty high. And there are now 44 days until the February contract expires, which means I have about 2 weeks to find some trade ideas before my window of opportunity closes. And that takes me on to trade ideas. I had one new trade idea today, and one of my open positions for the January expiry hit its profit target, and that position is now closed. The new trade idea was a put spread in NVCR, this one here, and the closed position was in BMRN. That would be this one here. For more details on those two trade ideas, you can visit the Trade Ideas Alert Forum, and I'll also drop a link underneath this recording so you can get to it via the link. Moving on to my positions. So I have two open positions. I now have two open positions, one open position for the January contract and one new open position in the February contract. The first open position is in mRNA. mRNA, I sold the 115-110 put spread, and let's check where mRNA closed today. So mRNA closed today at 116.26, up about $7. And if you hadn't looked at the market since Christmas Eve, you probably would have thought mRNA hasn't done anything. But it has been a bumpy ride excuse me, in mRNA. The sellers took control of it, drove it down to the gap, and it's been consolidating around the 109 level, dipping down to about 104 and coming back to 109. The buyers are gradually coming back in today. I think it closed around the high today. That's the first time that's happened in over a week, or nearly 2 weeks. So my short 115 put had been underwater since Christmas Eve, and today is the first day closed above my short strike. I'll review the position on Friday, but the thing about it, because I converted it into an iron condor, mRNA doesn't even need to be above 115 for this position to make money. I collected a credit of $3.06 in total, and mRNA, the mid is currently, or the mid close at 209. So I'm already in the money by nearly $8. Sold it for 306, it's at 209. So that's that one. The second position is in NVCR. So NVCR, what did I do? I sold the 140, 135 put, and that's a position I opened today. Let's see where NVCR closed. So NVCR closed at 157.53. I'm short the 140 put, so it's currently out of the money, and I shall review that position on Friday as well. And that takes me on to my watch list. On my watch list today, I have got ARKK, some usual suspects there, ARKK, EDIT, SRPT, PDD, LIT, and NVCR. I'll quickly go through them. So the first one was ARKK. Implied volatility 65. I would like to get something done in this, but the risk reward for the strikes I'm looking at is not quite there yet. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks I should be able to get something done in this one. EDIT, implied volatility 58. Again, the risk reward is not there just yet. SRPT, implied volatility 94. This one is not very liquid, but I might be able to do something in that. I looked earlier on today. I couldn't get a decent credit for the strikes I was interested in. So it's a bit wide, but not wider than the MVCR that I put on today. So I might be able to do something in this. If not tomorrow, then maybe Friday. So that's SRPT. PDD, implied volatility 57. This stock has been all over the shop. Down 10, it was up about 10 yesterday or Monday, and this is a play on the China, the US trying to delist a number of Chinese stocks. I think they instructed NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, to delist a number of Chinese stocks. And then NYSE said they were not going to delist them. Then it rallied yesterday, and I think the delisting is back on again, so they've gone back down. I might be able to do something in this. Someone in the forum put on a trade, a lovely trade in this today. I think they nearly hit their target in a day. Well done for that trade. LIT is another one. LIT IVR on this one is 54. This one, the strikes I'm looking at, I think I'm waiting for the market to come down a little bit more to give me a decent risk reward on this one. And the last one is the one I put a trade on today, MVCR. MVCR, implied volatility on this one is 50.7. So that brings me to the end of my journal for today. The main highlights are there are now 44 days until the February contract expires, so please be on the lookout for new trade ideas alerts over the next 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll try and get, so I've got one trade, I'll try and get maybe 3 more. If we can get 4 to start off the year, that would be great. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you on Friday. Thank you. Goodbye.